everyone, welcome back. Today we are painting this Christmas card. So this is a very easy one to do because you can be as messy as you want to be. So if you're a beginner, this is a great one. If you're not a beginner, this is still a fun one. And I am going to do this one in real time or close to real time so that you can see every step of the way exactly what I'm doing, and I'll kind of talk about some decisions that I made. So I have a 5x7 card, and you can do a fold over card if you want, but I'm just using like a postcard style. And we want to block out where we're going to write just to give us a guideline. So I'm just going to take some tape and put it about where I think I want to write. And I've folded over the end just so it's easy to peel up later. Let's see, it's fairly straight. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Like I said, or at this point, we're just blocking out the space. And let's just give us a good margin there. Okay. We're not going to be painting over here anyway, so that doesn't matter. I'm going to use a 2H pencil and just kind of sketch out where I think I want everything before I take my micron pencil and work on it. Okay, so I am going to speed up the sketching portion because frankly it was pretty boring. And you know, you can't really see the sketch very well. And you know what it looks like now anyway. And if you are a member of my newsletter, you are going to get this sketch in the December letter. So if you're not a member of my newsletter, then go ahead and sign up right now so that you will be in the queue and you can get the newsletter. All my newsletters go out on the 1st or the 2nd. I try to do it the 1st, but honestly, occasionally it's the 2nd. And let me just apologize right now. A couple of times I bump the camera so it shakes a little bit, you know, just a few times. And the camera goes in and out of focus every once in a while, and I'm so sorry, but I'm still getting used to my new studio, and I haven't quite figured out my overhead camera tripod situation. I've changed it from what I had in my other studio because that's just not going to work for me in this particular studio. So anyway, just bear with me through those little bobbles. This was my number 4 Simply Simmons brush. I think I'm going to stick with that. I'll take a little bit of this sap green and green gold mixture and just start. And we don't have to fill it completely in. You can kind of decide for yourself. Do you want to let it spill over the edges? Do you want to fill it all in? And to be honest, I don't really know which way I'm going to do it. I don't want it to be perfect, I know that. Now let's drop in some other colors. So this is just green gold. I do know, I like it when there's multiple colors. All right. And because these are the same colors, I can touch them and it's perfectly fine if they spill into each other. I don't think I'm going to be too careful with this. So I think I will just let it spill over a little bit. Let's drop in some green gold here. I also use olive green and green gold a lot together. They're so similar, but they are a little different. So I'm going to put a little green gold too. We can leave white space, and that's just fine. That's what I love about this style is it's not too perfect. And it doesn't matter when something spills over, or, you know, you don't have to be careful. And as this is drying, I can see I want more contrast in these leaves. So I am going to introduce another green. Let me see. This is that green gold again, it's just a little denser. I want some contrast here, so. Oops, let's get some sepia. And I just put my hand in it. Maybe I'm just trying a little green gold mixed with deep sap to make that deep sap not quite so blue, but yet give us another color. See, that's already drying, so I need to be quick. Okay, I like that. Maybe here where there may be, where there would be some shadow. Okay, I like that. So I see I have a hard line forming there, so I'll come back to that. I don't really care for that hard line. And I'm about to run out of this mixture. I should have mixed up more. That had a lot of green gold in it. Put a little more green in it. And let's go ahead and get this one done. Oops, that's a little dark. We also could have put down clean water first and allowed it to spread a little more. Notice how these two look a little brighter than those. I'll go back and touch those up in a bit. All right. That's why you should always mix up plenty of your color before painting, and I didn't have quite enough. That way you don't run into that kind of problem. But it looks okay that way. It really doesn't matter. Okay, now with the Windsor Red, I'll start up here. I'll come back in a second and add some darker tones to that. So we need to let this dry before we do anything else, really. It's not quite dry yet, but I already want to fix that a little bit. So I'm just going to take some clean water because it's dry. Where's my scrubber brush? I have a special brush for this. This is my scrubber brush. This is a Royal and Langnickel brush. I love this brush for doing just this. So I just want to soften that edge right there. And spread it around a little bit. Now, that's better. And it has this nice edge on it, so if you wanted to draw lines while it was still wet, we could have used this and it would have done a really good job. But I'm going to do that with my pen, so I'm not going to worry about that. And these are dry, and I think I want to add a little more to them as well to make them a little darker. So I'm going to take that Winsor red and put a little touch of sepia in it, and that will deepen it quite a bit. So we can give those some nice shadows. And we can soften that if you want with a little clean water. Make sure you don't have too much water in your brush so that if you do, it'll pool and not soften. It'll cause a water spot. I took too much off of that one. I can see that I have water on my ferrule there, so that's a problem. That will roll down and cause us an issue. Okay. I guess I neglected one up here. I could put some right there. Give this a little dimension. Okay, now I'm going to take my one and just add some thicker lines here and there. See how the dark really makes it pop now? And again, I'm not even trying to stay right on my lines. can just let it be a little sketchy. And there's no rhyme or reason really. I'm going more with where you might see some shadow or the underside of the leaf, and just adding a little more depth. It's kind of hard to stop once you start. Or for me anyway. Okay, these need some center lines, so I'm debating, do I want to do that? Make sure that's real dry. With this one or with the thin one? I think I'm going with the 05 to begin with. And we'll see how, yeah. And again, I'm not trying to be precise or straight. Make them a little darker. Okay, now I really want some gold, but I don't know where I want it. So let's experiment. Okay, this is my little gold that I always use. This bronze. And I've just discovered another gold that I'll probably go over in a short because I haven't actually tried it yet. But for this one, I'm going to go with what I know. So what I'm familiar with. And this gets everywhere. So now I'll just keep this little dish. It's just permanently my gold dish, and it will reconstitute. But I find it does better if you go ahead and add fresh gold to it. If I just need a little bit, I'll just add water, and then I can usually get enough to reconstitute for whatever I need. But if I'm not sure how much I'm going to need, I'll just go ahead and add to it. Okay, so now that's nice and coated. So I'm thinking maybe on our berries. Just give them a little shimmer. Oops, and that was a lot. I forgot to wipe my brush, so that was a lot. The thing about this is you can't really pick it up. You know, you can, like, that's real heavy. I can make that thinner, but I can't completely pick it up because that gold is already down there. And maybe on our center lines a little bit. Just a touch. So I'm not completely covering that line. I'm just adding a little touch to it. I don't know if you can see that. You'll be able to see it better when it dries. See? Maybe in some of these places where we did not go with the darker. I'm just kind of going outside the lines even. Oh, can you see that shimmer? Let's see, where else might we want it? That's probably good. Okay, now I want to get a larger brush. And I want to splatter some of the gold. Let me find something big with a lot of water in it. So I'm going to use my number 12 silver brush. I can usually get some pretty good splatters with this. So I dipped it in water and did not wipe it off, and then I dipped it in the gold. I want to be careful because I don't want to get it all over my table. That's pretty good. And now we just need to let that dry really well before we touch it. Okay, that's all dry now. And it's not showing up on camera as well as it does in person, unfortunately. And so I have a confession. My hand lettering is not very good. That's something that I really want to work on, but that is just not in my wheelhouse at the moment. So I printed this off and I am going to transpose it onto here and then go over it. So we need to take our tape off and be very careful so that we don't tear the card. Just go slowly and at a 45-degree angle. And keep your tape flat. Okay, I'm gonna take this to my light board and then trace it underneath. Okay, so I've traced it on there and I am going to use these Click Art pens to write over the top. And this is really making me decide that it's terrible that I am no good at calligraphy. So that's going to be my goal for 2025, is to get better with hand lettering. Let me just pick up some of that pigment, because it's probably going to show through. Okay, I'm a little nervous about it, having an audience while I do this, but we'll see. And this paper is fairly bumpy, so that's going to make it even more difficult. And I've already gone off my lines. Oh well. And this red is a little different than that red. I'm not real crazy about that. I could have used my calligraphy pen and done it with the same ink. But sometimes writing with that calligraphy pen on this bumpy paper does not have the best results. Okay. Well, thanks for watching today. I hope you painted along with me. If you did, use the hashtag paintingwithbela on Instagram and post a picture so that I can see how you did. And I would love to see your lettering. Like I said, mine's a little embarrassing. I can't believe I'm not very good with calligraphy, but I am going to work on that this year. And I will have many more Christmas videos coming up real soon.